out. Joe, tell me about the other days. Tell me what's going on when you are not acting out. Are you critical at home? Are you neglectful of responsibilities? What's the inside of this pattern for you? Do you cut yourself off from social things on the inside? Do you beat yourself up with guilt and shame? What is the inside of your acting out? Because sometimes when they can identify that they're starting to act in, they need to get that back in balance, because sometimes it's almost like, I don't know how to say this, but it's kind of like when they start pulling further in, the further they go in, there's a place on this continuum of moving in, and they put themselves so in pain, maybe they're not touched, they're not connecting, they're not being validated, they're not seeking validation, and that puts them in emotional pain, and that moves them into, oh, I need to be affirmed, connected, or beheld, and they'll go over to their addiction and act out. And so one of the ways you can help them as a clinician is understanding their cycle of what is the in cycle for them. And this may take you just some notes and having them even go do that for homework and say, you know what, Joe, I want you to go home after our session today, and I want you to describe, the days after, the day after, the days after, the month after, because some people, they act out months apart on their binge cycle. And you say, what does that look like? What does that inside look like? And see if you can help me, Joe, to try to define that point for you that moves you into enough pain that makes you want to start seeking this other acting out behavior. Because if we can find this pin, if we can find this tipping point for you, we can try to maybe stay further away from that as one of the strategies to stop breaking this cycle that Irons and Snyder are talking about, from acting out to acting in. If we can, of course, we want you to stop the acting out behaviors, but if your acting in behaviors are moving you towards enough pain to move you in this direction, then we also, as clinically responsible people, have to start identifying the acting in stuff so that we know how to help you over here. For example, Joe might be able to say, you know what, when I'm acting out, I go to the gym before I hit the clubs, I do this, I do that, and I seem to take care of myself physically, okay? I groom better, I'm wearing cologne, I dress a little better, and when I'm on the cruise kind of pattern, okay? Now, when Joe realizes that when he's on the acting inside, he tends to take off from the gym, sometimes days or even a week or two. He tends to feel fat, he tends to feel a little less functional. He feels more stress, of course he would, because he's not physically active. He could also feel a little bit more of lower self-esteem, not really wanting to connect. And he says, I really I emotionally pull back from others, and I also physically pull away from self. I don't connect with my body except on the acting outside. On this side, I am physically active, I'm on the cruise, I'm on the hunt, I'm more aggressive. Over here, I'm very passive. And I don't really take responsibility for my body. I don't eat as good. Here's what's going on. Okay, well then Joe and I can sit down in a clinical situation and say, you know what, it looks like one of the strategies that may be helpful for your recovery is to work out twice a week, whether you feel like it or not.
Does someone you love suffer from drug addiction? Accidental drug overdoses are the #1 cause of unnatural deaths. Don't wait until it's too late. Call our 24/7 helpline at 1-800-648-6734. A caring addiction specialist is awaiting your call.